Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Bob Waldron and welcome to another inbox review, which we are going to be doing the Kampfstift by Eduard in 1/48 scale. It is a Dornier Do-17. It is in 1/48 scale and it is limited edition as well. The kit inside here isn't done by Eduard, it is done by ICM, and it was a brand new tool in 2015, so fairly sort of a nice new tool that we have here, but with Eduard putting all their goodies in there and loads of decals and everything, which, as you can see, nice bit of box art. But on the side just here we do have all these lovely markings, which Eduard are fantastic for giving you loads and loads of decals and loads of markings. Plus, if we look around the side just here, we even have what looks like to be some nice bit of resin wheels and all sorts of goodies as well, but we'll have a closer look. The actual kit number is 11147 as well. So jumping straight in with our first piece just here, this is our main sort of wing section. If we bring you in sort of nice and close, hopefully what you'll see is the surface detail, which the surface detail, you know, we do have a lot of nice recessed panel lines. As you can see, they are looking quite crisp and quite even throughout, but not really seeing much in the sense of recessed rivets, which would have been nice to kind of bring that detail out a little bit more. We have the underside of the wing section again, same level of detail. There's one or two recessed rivets, but really not many at all. On the underside we do have a little bit of sort of rib work detail for where our landing gear is going to be. Not too bad, could be a little bit better. Moving along, we do have, strangely, I do believe, I know we don't, thought we did, but we have our fuselage section just here, which again, same level of surface detail running all the way along there. Pretty nice, crisp. But as I say, could do like some recessed rivets, but I don't really worry about that too much, because getting out a rivet maker and just making your own rivets is actually not that hard to do. And we've got all sorts of pieces on here with all our sort of ailerons, slats and all sorts that could be going on here. A bit of sort of internal rib work, which, you know, we got, you know, looking quite cool there. We've got some sort of internal sort of cockpit detail as well just here. Could probably be a little bit better on the detail, but it is there. Flip this over, ejector pin marks. I mean, on the inside, not really any detail with the fuselage section, but I do believe we do build up a nice cockpit anyway. But I'm not seeing any sort of nasty ejector pin marks. I mean, we've got some here, but you're going to cover these up, so no biggie there. But not seeing anywhere any nasty places. We do have two identical sprues, and on this sprue we have what looks like to be a nice bit of engine detail. So as you can see just here, we've got all sorts of engine detail here and here, which is going to build up hopefully to be, you know, two really cool engines showing off that detail in there. We've got our two propellers, we've got loads and loads of free fall bombs as well. Remember, there is two sprues of this, and it is actually a one-piece free fall bomb, so absolutely loads there. A little bit of landing gear detail, which, looking at the kit in general, flash is not really a problem with this. I'm not really seeing any nasty flash. I mean, yeah, a little bit of a tidy up on the join lines maybe, but nothing major in flash going on with this. We've got some wheel well doors, which it's nice to see. We've got no ejector pin marks on this side or the other side. Maybe a tiny little recessed panel line there, a little bit of detail, but on the inside looking quite good indeed. Our next sprue we have is a sprue where we've got our sort of engine cowl section and sort of landing gear area, which again, not really seeing much detail inside there, but hopefully something will build up inside. All sorts of little bits and bobs, nothing to sort of really write home about, but the detail is nicely there. Then we have our canopy section. Sorry, I know this kind of can get a little bit with a mic, sort of trying to get these out. but let's take a look at this canopy. Looks like we've got sort of like a choice of 2 canopies, right? Looking up sort of close, you probably can't tell much on camera, but if I just lift it up into the light, is that a little bit okay? Looking stunning everywhere where there is any sort of clear part, and looking very crystal clear, but there is like a little bit of a noticeable, I don't know if we're going to be able to pick this up on camera, but it's right there. Maybe you just caught it there in the light. There's like a little sort of cobweb effect, you know, those nasty ones where, well, maybe, I don't think it's a crack, but it's one of those where it's down into the core, just a little tiny. I mean, it's so tiny, it's probably been a bit picky. You're not really going to notice that. You can get away with it. I wouldn't grumble too much, but you know, you do look closely, hold it up to the light, and you can just see one of those little cobweb effects. But when it's in the canopy, when it's in the actual, on the fuselage, I don't think that's going to be much of a big notice. And it is on both of them as well, which normally means we're going to probably see that throughout, but not too bad. And then we have all the goodies that makes Eduard kind of a really good pick, because we're going to get stuff like this, and because it's a limited edition, we've got a nice bit of resin just inside here, which we've got these lovely wheels that do actually look really nice and crisp, well detailed, and should really sort of bring your wheels to life, as well as some other little bits, you know, the rear wheels and everything. This again, you know, Eduard's done this once or twice. This is sort of like what holds your rear wheel, because it's resin and it is a bit thin. I can see something like this breaking quite easily, and it's not really something that you want to have a weight of the model, you know, sitting on resin. In all honesty, it's just a theory. I haven't used them. I haven't heard anyone complain about them, so I might be just talking rubbish, but it just seems to me like using resin as a bit of landing gear, bit sort of fragile, if you ask me. But you know, let us know if you've had those kind of problems, if you built one of these kits with those resin sort of landing gear. Then we have again, good to have Eduard, because we also have a whole bunch of photo etch to go with it, which, as you can see, we've got all of our cockpit detail inside here, which, you know, is their sort of up-to-date stuff where the actual dials have got those sort of glossy blobs on them, which is cool. And not only that, but again, because we've got this limited edition thing going on here, we also have like another detailed fret as well. I'm kind of guessing by the looks of it that we're going to be talking things like MGs and maybe a bit of exterior detail with that as well. Then we have, again, no point showing these on camera because you can't see them, but we've got Canopy Masks also. Then we have a lovely set of decals, which, you know, we do have a lot of markings as well, so there's a lot of different markings on here. These are going to be really good. They're always pretty good from Eduard, and we've got some on the back as well, which will be our stencils also. So nice set of decals also. Then we have our instructions, so we can have a little look on how this is going to go together. Really nice booklet as always, good glossy paper, nice color and everything. Inside, you know, they are normally well laid out, but like we using color as well does help for, you know, understanding where everything is going. So, you know, nicely starting off showing you where all the photo etch goes inside here, which if you remember, I did show you some cockpit detail, and I did say the detail was a bit not the best of detail. Well, that's all basically getting removed and being replaced with the photo etch, so good to know they're really updating what was a little bit of a weak point in the kit. So we get all that lovely detail, loads of detail going inside the cockpit area, so it should really build up nicely in the cockpit area to have a good amount of detail. And then that builds there is quite a lot going inside the cockpit detail here, with lots and lots of bits and bobs. Then it looks like we're kind of building up a bit of our bomb bay area, our rear wheel as well. Hopefully that will be strong enough. And then we bring our two wing sections together, pretty sort of nice and basic. Moving along, you know, it does look like we're going to have movable sort of ailerons as well. The fuselage, the wing section comes onto the fuselage, so almost a bit like a nice easy World War II fighter, a bit whacking in all your bombs and a few other little bits here and there, making up the final frame. It does, is this going to be one of these where they don't show you landing gear up or down? Looks like it, but I would assume as though you could. But you know, we did have you know, a lack of detail, but it does look like we're going to have detail in the wheel wells as well, because it does look like we'll build up some walls there. Bring in your landing gear. Engine section, again, there's lots and lots of pieces that's going to this. Also, I think we're going to have one of these things, because we've got so many markings, which Eduard does, so you've got to kind of pick the marking you want, because we're going to have things like this, you know, choose, you know, apply this piece for X, for whatever letter markings you're doing. So make sure you kind of pick first, because you're going to have to sort of build it in that kind of configuration as well. And then we have our landing gear going in. Again, I'm not seeing if you can have landing gear down. It doesn't show it, but normally you just close the doors, but sometimes it's not as simple as that. But it doesn't show it, but you probably can. You've got nice photo etch to go on your MGs as well, to go all the way around, just jazz them up. It does show you the Canopy Mask placements, as well as the Canopy Mask actually double up for masks for your wheels as well, if you want to go about it that way. And apart from that, that seems to build quite nicely. Then we have all the markings, which you can, you know, pause and look through these markings as I turn them over. But it's not just kind of going off and going, you know, here's one paint scheme and then let's just put some different marking numbers on there. You know, as you can see, it does sort of change up and sort of give you actually kind of different coloured paint schemes to go about, very different ones, as you can see as we go along. Some quite interesting ones we could do. Very interesting, I haven't seen that one before, but that's quite cool. And then we have our stencils at the back. Now this kit does, I think it retails at almost 50 quid. On the Genesis Models website, I do believe it was £44.09, so a nice little bit off the RRP. All in all, do you know what, I think it is a good kit. It's nice when they take, you know, a pretty good kit, Eduard do, and then because they add all their sort of fancy photo etch and masks and resin and stuff, it kind of just enhances that kit even further and just makes it even better. Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but you're getting all these, you know, sort of standard goodies that really kind of builds up a nice model. So that would be a really cool model if you're into these kind of aircraft. Definitely a big thumbs up, and hopefully you've enjoyed the inbox review. But as always, until next time, my name's Bob Waldron, it's Genesis Models, and I'll catch you in the next video.